Hi guys, what's going on? And welcome back to our medieval Total War 2 campaign. This is episode 10, maybe? And yeah, we're continuing to slowly, very slowly, conquer the world. So, if you remember last time, obviously we've got our base pretty much established in northern France. We have a random Lisbon down here after we got into a war with the Portuguese. And sort of in Europe, we are fighting against the Holy Roman Empire at the moment. We made some progress, we captured Metz and Staufen. But we're now under siege by Emperor Henry. I don't think it's going to be too much of a problem for us. We've got a few archers, well, not great units, but then they've got largely peasants and town militia, so nothing to worry about too much, I don't think. Hopefully they will actually bring the siege to a battle soon, and hopefully we can just beat them and break that siege. So that's all looking pretty good around here. We're going to have to update our buildings and stuff in a second. Over in the Middle East, things are going pretty well. So we're in obviously Alexandria and Cairo. Why are you standing there? You're moving to take up residence in Alexandria. Yeah, it's just public order to manage in these big cities are the biggest problem. But, you know, we're doing okay so far. I'm just trying to build things like city halls to keep the squalor down and things like that. Yes. Obviously got our bishop wandering around. We also captured some of the far out settlements like Dongola and Jeddah. And now just pushing through all these rebel settlements basically up in the north. We've got the Venetians here who had led a crusade to Antioch. And then I guess we're going to be coming into contact with the Turks and start fighting them. And possibly, I guess, the Mongols are going to turn up at some point soon as well. So it's going to become quite a hotly contested region. So it's good that we've got castles like at Acre and Gaza, which is obviously a fortress, which is my main base in the area for troop recruitment. And obviously Jerusalem, which I've left quite a few troops in because it's a large city. So public order, again, is often a problem. So, first things first, let's deal with any cities that need any upgrades. And we want to be keeping everything, trying to build as much economy as possible. Then we'll build a blacksmith at Metz. Building. Just going to flick through them all, make sure everyone is building something. Dublin isn't, but has it got anything worthwhile building? Well, you can have a town hall, I suppose, it won't do you any harm. Carnarvon, nothing to worthwhile building there. Again, I'm not really bothered, there's no point building blacksmiths and stuff here. I'm never ever going to be recruiting any units up there. So there's any point building economic buildings. But we look like we are pretty good for the most part. I am thinking about possibly, now we have a reasonable strong navy, launching a crusade, maybe a campaign against some of the Scandinavian countries, maybe Denmark, somewhere around here. I think could be worthwhile doing. So I mean, that's probably going to be recruitment out of Nottingham, Fortress Nottingham. Are we going to do that? Yeah, let's think about doing that. We've got some pretty good units available for recruitment here. We've got quite a bit that could be upgraded yet, but yeah, we stand a reasonable chance there. We've got a couple of leaders, of course, of London as well. George of Kingsbridge and Anthony Glastonbury. So those two can go and start the Scandinavian campaign. So that's all looking good down there. I think we're pretty much ready for the end of this turn. They're under siege, but we don't have any equipment built yet. So pretty much next turn. Hopefully the French aren't going to declare war on me. We're just on a bit of a go slow. Sometimes turns seem to tick around pretty quickly, and other times they just seem to spend ages doing nothing. I think this might be a declaration of war. No? I was expecting them to lay siege to Paris. I mean, not that they'd stand a chance because they're kind of outnumbered. Ah, rebel army there. Get out of my territory. I think France shouldn't be that hard to beat because they don't have that much more territory. Obviously, they're bordering the Spanish down to the south, and we obviously own all of northern France. Oh, the enemy army has given up the siege of Staufen and has gone to Metz. Doesn't really make any difference to me. It's the same sort of city. Let me see what they do. I think we should be able to hold both of them. I don't think they have a large enough or advanced enough army to actually be able to do anything against me. Handful of people are not going to do anything if they're going to try and lay siege to Antwerp. Spanish army fighting in North Africa. A random Moorish diplomat, don't care. Sod off. Wait for all these turns to tick round. The problem with exploring more and more of the map, you get all these bloody people. Heretics. The Mongols have arrived. Brilliant. That's not kind of what I was hoping for. So, what have we got? Has Henry Crusader got enough to lay siege to actually beat Damascus? What have they got? A few archers. There's a few archers. They probably might as well wait the 5 turns because the casualties we will sustain will be quite high. And I don't want Henry the Crusader to die because he's my favourite commander. And he's got the Ark of the Covenant. So, as I say every episode. So, Cairo has got the plague. Well, it's probably not a particularly bad thing, to be honest, because the population is getting a bit big anyway. It has got room for building something else though. How is our economy looking? Okay. So we've got some more people recruited at Gaza. Okay. So let's get these guys on the move down. Probably garrison in Jerusalem for a turn, and then we'll move them down to, you know, trying to reinforce the front lines by continually moving down fresh troops. We can perhaps afford to get rid of some of these really crap people, maybe. Or should we just leave them for now? No, perhaps we'll leave them.
God's servant.
And John a dome round to try and get rid of the plague through religious means. Metz is obviously under siege, but again, I think it should be able to hold out. We can start to retrain some of the troops here. Have suffered under the sieging. Construction report. Right, so let's flick through our buildings and get everything upgraded that we need to. Well, first, let's spend our money on our new units out of Nottingham. And then, yeah, construction. I really thought we'd be having a stronger economy by now, which we obviously haven't. It's kind of disappointing. Cairo, what are we going to build in Cairo? A great market, increasing tradable goods, or roads? That'll probably give me improved trade. Be the main thing to do, isn't it? And they're cheap, so let's have some roads. The consequence is we're going to get more population growth, which is obviously a bad thing. Add a Accra. We'll do dirt roads. Only a turn. Jerusalem. We'll build roads again. Seems to be the most beneficial for income because it increases trade so much. Lisbon. Again, we'll do roads. Roads everywhere. Having a great road building session. Nothing to build there. York is busy. Nottingham is busy. And London. Okay. Let's leave it as a reasonable amount of money this turn, which is good. So yeah, we'll wait for this army to build up a little bit more. Maybe we can recruit some people out of London as well who are half worthwhile. A couple of spear militia. It's probably worth taking some spear militia. Well, then again, is it? They're not going to be particularly well trained, are they? We'll take 3 units of spear militia because it will speed up the training process, and then we can just leave them in wherever we conquer. I don't know if to go straight for sort of Copenhagen or the big fortress here, or just go for some of the Scandinavian, like Stockholm and Norway and Oslo and all sorts. Okay, so I'm happy with all this sort of stuff. Nothing to do around here, I don't think specifically. Wow, a lot of people there. I've got a lot of generals in Europe. We're going to have to deal with at some point. They're everywhere, actually. Okay. Well, next turn, we'll see what we do with them. The Mongols are going to be a massive problem because they turn up with huge armies. So maybe we need to step up recruitment in Gaza a little bit more to start to get more proper troops to start to defend our castles. Obviously, we're probably going to lose a few cities over there before we get ourselves sort of in order to be able to resist them. Ooh, a spy. Just snuck into Bruges. Inconvenient. Spies everywhere, aren't we? Maybe the French are planning to go to war very shortly. Hopefully they don't open the gates. That's the most annoying thing that they do. Still fighting the rebels. Oh, I thought he was going to lay siege to Paris then. We've got ballista towers, I think, at Paris, so I think they'll struggle to lay siege there. Well, they'll lay siege, I just think they'll struggle to capture it. Okay, so they're declaring siege of Antwerp. I don't think that's going to go particularly well for them. To be honest, I think we'll probably just sally out and we should be able to beat them.
The enemy lays siege, sire.
We've got a couple of generals there as well. Yeah, bride's fine. Merchant's Guild, yeah. We'll have a Merchant's Guild. So, settle the siege to Antwerp, obviously, etc., etc. A few of our ports are all being blockaded, which is kind of annoying. But not the end of the world, I don't suppose.
lord.
Move these guys up to Nottingham.
Hail my king.
Along with the two, put it onto there. Growth build policy, they're happy. Okay, so we've got a bit of an army building up here now. We'll probably have one more turn. We'll have a couple of one unit of mailed knights or cavalry, and then yeah, we'll go with that. And then next turn we can all board the boat and sail for Norway. So over here, we'll keep the siege up here. We're not seeing the Mongols yet. Start to move some of my more armoured units from here across to Acre, which was their intended destination. Here, there's nothing else we can really do for that. They've got ballista towers. Just have to keep trying to keep it well upgraded. Gaza should probably upgrade a bit more as well. I don't know what they can do though, really. Well, Baron Stables, we can have better knights. It won't do any harm, will it? And then I guess we should think about recruiting some starting to get some high quality archers out of there to push. Pushing these troops always forwards, I think, is my plan. And then we'll have to Damascus. Damascus is going to be really hard to hold on to, I think, from the Mongols, because it's not really a very well armoured city. So over this way, obviously we're still under siege here, but they're not doing anything. This guy we can probably. Or should we just wait for them to siege us? We'll wait a turn or two. Anything else interesting happening here? We're just not that rich, is all that says. Tons of things got built. So let's go around. London, what we're going to build? An admiralty would be kind of useful, I suppose. Well, fairground for more tradable goods, probably. Bruges, Antwerp, lots of things are going to be finishing in the next turn or two. Dongola will continue with land clearance just for a bit of money there. Alexandria, perhaps Rhodes as well. Just want to try and get our trade up. I'm just surprised we're not making more money than we are. Accurate, I think we need to start to get its military capacity increased. Jeddah, well, probably not a lot. You're only not a city, you're not really connected to the trade network. It's probably not a lot of use for you. I skipped a few there and I wasn't paying attention. Dublin, no, not really a lot there worth building. No. York. Anything really worth building? Not really, is it? Nottingham is constructing, and we're back to London. I'd rather keep sort of a reasonable stock of money to buy things and stuff like that. Okay, next turn. We shall hopefully make it to Scandinavia this episode. I think we will. Hopefully. I'll wait for the French to move around. We're going a bit quicker this turn at least. See if the Holy Roman Empire is going to actually take part in any of these sieges that it's got going on. Like at Metz, they might actually come in and attack. The French seem determined to go towards Paris at some point, but they just never seem to quite be doing it. Are they actually going to try and go for Antwerp? Well, we shall fight them on the map. I have no real worries that we won't win this. I think we should be quite easily be able to win this one. The Spearmen are fine once they're sort of stacked against the walls. Hopefully they've not got any artillery with them. Although they might do. That'll be a little bit more inconvenient if they did. No, they don't. Okay, cool. So we'll stack up some heavy infantry here. Where's the other unit? Stack them here. You can stay on the walls there. We'll have another unit. There, you. And then you can array behind them, somewhere like that. We pull our full general back in the city centre, and this guy can sort of stay loose as a bit of a strike force. Okay, cool. So we've got so many troops up on the walls. I don't think they're going to be able to get any very far with their ladders. Maybe a handful of town militia. Do they have anyone any good? I think I saw some armoured sergeants. Yeah, they could be a bit tough. Oops, poor man burnt to death. Bit of a brutal way to go. General bodyguards obviously a pain, but we're all spearmen, so it's not really a massive problem. Just go into a bit of fast forward mode. We'd be better off not shooting the ram. I don't think they'll be able to set it on fire time, but shooting the enemy infantry. Raise the ladders. They've got basic mail.
Repel the attackers. Give them steel.
Here they come up their little ladders. I wish you could select the unit you want to focus on most. You should focus on those armoured sergeants.
My lord, the enemy are battering down.
But here we go. I don't think this is going to go very well for them. They are just going to die in droves, as they are basically doing already. 63. I think we're going to sustain as many casualties from friendly fire from our archer towers as we are on the enemy. These guys will just rout very shortly, I think. A few casualties stood out here, to be fair. Even lost the general's bodyguard. Down to 36, and we've lost about 5.
The enemy's ram has
Through the
breached
gates. No! No, I don't think that's going to be a problem for us either. We've got our heavier sort of spear militia, and then the town militia behind them. He's going to mill through. I don't think he's going to really pan out for them. And then really we can pull this unit down off the wall to get into a flank here.
Are no longer ours. The enemy
They're going to try and push through with their generals by the looks of it. The general has took a very bold move, going straight into the midst of a huge array of spearmen. But now both lines are effectively engaged. Those general's bodyguard can't actually get through the lines. And there we go, there goes the enemy general. That was easy. That will somewhat be detrimental to their morale, I should have thought. Okay, let's go for a bit more fast forwarding. Some of the armoured sergeants looks like they've tried to go for the wall, but they're actually wavering. Hopefully they'll break soon. Oh, there we go. Broken, and they're going to try and recruit across the ladders. Brilliant. Then they're going to take casualties in the process.
The enemy are badly bloodied. They have lost half. The battle is very much in our favour.
Pursue them.
If we remain true and steadfast, victory will be ours.
The enemy's general bodyguards getting cut down pretty easily. And they're mostly just routing through the gaps. Is everyone routing? Apart from 19 town militia, who should probably shortly be routing.
Behold,
there we go.
All of
Easy.
Christendom will be awed.
That was always going to go that way. They just did not have anywhere near enough troops to launch an assault like that. Oh, well, there we go. I would have had the money. And they've given up on the siege of Metz. Wonderful. Things are not going particularly well for the Holy Roman Empire. We could look and try and siege another city, to be honest. If we gather our forces, we've got quite a few generals kicking around.
We come bearing
yes, definitely. Definitely have trade rights. Anything that's going to increase my income will be much appreciated. Oh, the Mongols
video.
video.
To become comfortable with the enemy you know.
I've not seen this video in ages.
But to discount the menaces that lurk beyond the known world is to risk a rude awakening that can become a nightmare. This nightmare is the Mongol Invasion.
Imagine if you had a voice like this narrator. It would just be simply awesome. Okay. So, obviously the Mongols are here. But where is here? I don't know. I don't know where they spawn. I don't know if they sort of spawn over here or they're a bit further up. Yeah, it's probably going to be a bit of a pain for us. Probably going to end up losing quite a few cities, I suspect. But anyway, we shall not become too forlorn.
As you wish.
Move a unit from here.
Ordered by your my lord. Yes, sir.
Keep recruiting units at Gaza. Although we are actually running out of units to recruit. Histolites? Can't think of the word. Okay, so they're all okay. We've got our army to go from Nottingham, haven't we? So let's ready the army.
Hail, my king! Sire, 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 my lord. Yes.
Board our boats and set sail.
Yes, sir. Full sail.
I think the city is somewhere like here or something. I'm just going to go for this Norway one. I think there's a gold mine around there as well, which is kind of what makes me tempted. Hopefully make it worthwhile. So how's our income looking? Still reasonable-ish. Our trade income is picking up more and more. Hopefully as our road networks gets better and better. But it's still not exactly perfect, is it? Could do with a gold mine somewhere, wouldn't we? Chocolate mine. How much does our mining actually do? 2,600. Reasonable amount. All our money just goes on army upkeep, doesn't it, really? And corruption. Damn corruption. So well, let's just continue to flick through our buildings list. Paris has got room to build something else. What am I going to build? Partial plate. I don't know. Most of these units should be fully. We could have partial plate, particularly with some of the generals there. Actually, they'll all get a bit upgraded. Bruges roads, obviously, as we know, are the key to everything. Alexandria, Cairo, Gaza, Jerusalem, Jeddah. Dublin can't build anything. Carnarvon, nothing worthwhile building. Rennes, roads. Nothing worth building there. Edinburgh will, but still building. Oh, fortress. Yay. York, not really anything worthwhile building. Nottingham and London. Okay, so we're back round. So let's think about possibly our campaign from around here. Start just recruiting up a few more units. And then basically I'm going to join these two armies together and go and search for another city. Looks like down here is still France. Oh, they actually own Bologna. Sort of an isolated city on its own. We could go down there and capture that, to be honest. And then, but really, I probably might as well push up this way, particularly as I'm going to be landing troops here and maybe meet together and conquer this sort of area of the map. So that's all okay. Lisbon's okay. Maybe we should cut back a little bit on the troop numbers in Lisbon.
Sire, my lord.
Start to merge some of these units together a little bit. You're like the sort of unit you can go to, cost a lot per turn. And troops like you cost a lot per turn. As do troops like you.
Sire.
You're relatively expensive because you're a mercenary troop as well.
Orders. Sire.
Okay, there we go. It's a bit more reasonable. Not going to save us a lot of money, but a little bit. Maybe a little bit. Although King Alfonso is actually probably rapidly approaching, and that's going to be a problem. It'll go wrong again. We'll continue the siege there until the Mongols turn up. Obviously Jerusalem is a full city. See, it has its ballista towers. Akku should be upgrading, yeah, its leather armourer. So we can start to recruit better troops. What does that master explorer skill? Is that going to be like spies? But I can actually recruit spies. It seems almost entirely redundant. Strange. I wonder what. Can I recruit a merchant from any of these? I wonder how. I might have a go at recruiting a merchant if I can. Do any of these cities have merchant guilds? Thieves Guild headquarters. Doesn't look like they do, do they? Explorers Guild. No, we'll just recruit one out of Cairo. Let's recruit a merchant and see if there's anywhere worthwhile actually trying to get sort of like safe. Because merchants just get killed, but if maybe if there's ivory or slaves around here, kind of just worthwhile doing because it's easy. Gaza should be recruiting people, which it is. So, next turn.
I bear a message that you would be wise.
That's fine. I'm not in a position to be pursuing a crusade against the Portuguese, really. We've got enough to deal with, possibly with, particularly with these Mongols who are going to be arriving. So, I'm happy just to leave them for the moment. The Pope is dead. Do we have any bishops to get a vote in? No. And he's found our faith wanting. Interesting. Agent found. Agent found. Agent found. French have got a lot of agents. Following declared a truce with Portuguese, and the Holy Roman Empire has been reconciled. That's probably why I've been allowed to pursue a war against them for so long without repercussion. She's probably going to come to a prompt end. Why would you just run into the city? You know Reims is there. Stupid people. Okay, so let's... we can actually take King Rufus with us. So let's start to ready my army for its campaign. What's going to leave me here? 2 units and a general. That's fine, I think.
They'll wish they'd never been born, sire.
So, are we going to actually fight Captain Fredrickson?
The might of the Reich, coward.
I think we might.
My lord. Sire. Orders. Orders.
Put you right behind him, and then you to sandwich.
We shall
Order
slaughter
resolve.
them, my lord.
Okay, let's march out. Do we need to put any more people in range? Not really. I think it's looking okay from a point of view. We'll set everyone off auto repairing though, because people are a bit damaged. You probably do need a couple of bowmen to get your strength back up because you're a bit understaffed. Yeah, and then my plan is to march out and find something else, maybe Frankfurt, something like that, hopefully before we get excommunicated. Which is always sort of promptly imminent, isn't it? So we're sort of arriving on the coastline of Oslo, which is still a rebel settlement. Oh, that makes things a bit easier, so we don't have to go to war with the Danish quite yet. And hopefully there's a gold mine, and Stockholm's over this side, so we'll probably do these two. There's the gold. Or is it amber? It's something. So yes, we've got those two to deal with as well. John of Durham, you are a long way from home, John.
I am spent, sire. I shall continue tomorrow.
Good to know. I still feel like I should get rid of a few of these worthless people here. Just the happiness, like in Cairo. Not too bad. Okay, right, let's do my buildings. That will be the next logical thing to do. What's my income looking like? Still, I just want to try and be getting ahead. I felt like in previous campaigns I got really high on the income point of view, but I'm not. I'm not getting as far as I thought I was going to. Continue with our roads. Yeah, we've built quite a few roads recently. You'd think that would have a positive effect. Well, we might have our merchant. Have we built the merchant already?
At your service.
Who is a terrible merchant. Our slaves is 135, 239 for ivory. And spices over there. Oh, we could set merchants up all over the place. Do the merchants have an upkeep? Interesting question.
I'll continue once
Maybe someone knows. If you know, do merchants have an upkeep cost? I actually genuinely don't know. I might recruit another one, to be honest. Because that seems kind of worthwhile if we're going to be getting 139 per turn. It seems like a worthwhile investment.
God's servant.
What was I doing? I was doing building upgrades. I got distracted. Metz, Staufen, Dongola, Alexandria. Cairo needs something. So we've got all the roads. I could build a huge cathedral. But there's not really a public order problem at the moment, is there? So we'll perhaps go for a warehouse for the tradable goods benefit. Or a market. A market. Gaza. Akron needs to continue to upgrade itself. So let's go for bows. Yeah, perhaps a bow yard would be most useful because considering we're going to be mostly on the defensive. What are we going to go for here? Militia drill square. Probably be a wise thing, and we kind of need the public order bonus as well because they're kind of unhappy there. What Jeddah was building. Lisbon. It's a really worthwhile building. Naval Academy. Council chambers instead. Dublin, nothing. Nothing. Inverness, nothing. Edinburgh has got room to something to be built. Then we could build an Admiralty. They've got all the roads they need. I'm a bit short on money, which is obviously a concern. I'm actually quite unhappy here, to be honest. Oh no, they're not. Now they're not unhappy here. They'll build a market. And that is probably me about out of money, to be honest. We're getting poor again. We've got too many armies, I think, in the field. But anyway, next turn, and let's see how we get on. Because we've got, you know, armies all in the Middle East. My army on the way to Norway, our army in France. We've got quite a large garrison in Lisbon. Which is all costing me quite a lot of money. Yes, financially, Denmark is just so rich. But we're not.
Aye, sire.
So I reckon somewhere along here, possibly there.
Yes, sir. Full sail.
Oh, they've just captured it. It's no longer a rebel. Well, war with Denmark it is then.
The troops ashore, sire. There is no glory in hiding.
Fleet ready, sire.
And we've got their fleet pinned in as well.
Fear not. We are not here for a fight.
Hail my king!
There's no one. I don't really need to hire anyone. Doesn't look like there's much of an army there. We should be able to siege Oslo without too much trouble, I would have thought. And they own Stockholm as well. And then we'll probably bob ourselves across to Aarhus region and try and capture there. That's our finance looking like. Getting there. You see, our trade is coming up quite a bit with all the roads we're building, so it is worthwhile doing.
Hail my king!
You'll just go back to Paris, you useless,
Yes.
useless man.
Yes.
So across a bridge.
Move!
Now there's Frankfurt. How do we get there? I have to...
Yes.
Oh no, I can just go straight there.
They'll wish they'd never been
Cool,
born,
cool,
sire.
cool. No, we don't really need to recruit anyone. I'm pretty happy with the way things are in that sense.
Got some new exotics to trade with us.
That's building that. They'll all get armoured. So we're all good with that. So, building upgrades. Flip through. Hopefully nothing too much needs doing. And Alexandria's got room for an upgrade. We'll just do a farm. Or ballista towers. Are the Mongols going to be a problem? Probably not going to get this far, but it would be foolish to not be prepared. Who fails to prepare, prepares to fail, and all that. So, keep flicking around, How long have we been going on for? About half an hour. Done. Nowhere. Building. Of York. No, okay, not too bad, not too inexpensive turn. I'm happy with that. Random people have become allies. Recruited some longbowmen, a merchant in Cairo. So let's sort my merchant people out. So you
at your service. Journeying onward. I shall continue tomorrow.
They assume you're equally as useless. Oh no, a bit better. So he will earn per turn
at your service.
319. So I might as well stick you on the slightly less valuable slaves.
I shall continue tomorrow, my liege.
Okay, cool. Next turn, I think. Oh, so that was the Mongols then. I still haven't seen the Mongols. I just don't know where they're going to come from. I just don't know if they're just suddenly going to appear here and all hell is going to break loose. I'm just not quite sure what to expect. We'll just continue recruiting people here. We've got to. I know it's going to cost me. It's costing me quite a lot in the long run in terms of resources, but there is not a lot of choice.
Hail
We
my
have our
king.
crusading army who's going to have a go at defending Damascus. That's going to come into a fight in the next turn or two. I'll probably end this episode here then, to be honest. Seems like a fairly good time. King Rufus should take Frankfurt in the next turn. That's going to give us a fairly strong position then to fight off against the Danish on two fronts. So we're looking pretty good there. So I'm quite happy with how things are going. So hopefully you've enjoyed this episode, episode 10. I think we're episode 10 or episode 9. No, episode 10. If you have, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Do merchants cost upkeep? That's what I want to know. That's my main query for today's episode. As is there to say? Nothing. So thank you for watching, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed it, and I shall see you all on the next episode.